I'm switching topics on you. I want to delve into our VA hospitals. And, we know the city budget is $5 million for the veterans. We know that our VA hospitals are absolutely disgusting, quite frankly. I would like to know, and I would like to ask, how about we start to do some surprise checks? St. Albans in my borough comes into mind because we happen to know several veterans who had to go to St. Albans. And I'd like to know if we could start to be proactive. Out of that $5 million, now we also have a committee that is hospitals, okay, called hospitals. How much of their budget actually goes towards our VA hospitals? They're a mess. The food, I'm reading right out of one of my vets. The food is gross. The veterans are neglected. No answers for families. Have to be pre-approved for we as electeds have to be pre-approved to visit. I cannot walk into a veterans hospital, which is total BS. Absolute BS that I cannot walk in as a sitting elected who happens to serve on the Veterans Committee and ask to meet with the way I do at my homeless shelters. I'm very much in touch. So the idea that I'm cut off from that is something that needs to be, tells me, what are you hiding? Because if I can't walk in and say, hello, how are you, without being asked to leave immediately upon my arrival, I find that not only disrespectful, but totally lacking in any kind of like they're hiding something. Also, these veterans should have access to EBT cards the way the illegal immigrants in this country have. So I have a problem with that as well. Again, this is coming directly from a veteran. And again, it's gross about how they are treated. Elected officials should be able to walk in at any given times to do random checks. So $5 million, hospitals are a shambles. Elected officials cannot just randomly drop in and say hello. And EBT cards. So let's keep those three on the front burner. That, I'm sorry to shift from such a nice topic that you were having prior, but I just got this from him, and I really wanted this addressed because, again, like I said, the budget for the veterans is disgraceful. I've been sitting on this committee. This will be 5 years. $5 million hasn't been increased, not by 1 cent. We have committees here that are, it's a hospitals committee. What else? What's the committee called? Hospitals and
General welfare?
general, you would know. Just hospitals, flat out hospitals. So how much out of the hospitals committee actually goes to our veterans hospitals? And I want to be allowed in anytime I want to go. And I think they should be able to be entitled to EBT cards. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman, for that question because even though the VA is handled at a federal level, I know that we do have good relationships with the VA, and that is something unique that we're doing now under my leadership is that I'm trying to build at least open up that line of communication, and I know that part of the organizing per se that we would like to do is begin having meetings with the VA directly, and this is where we would like to invite you and so to begin having these conversations.
And on a personal note, my father died in 1961. He died in a VA hospital because my mother could not afford any other hospitalization for my dad. So he died, like I said, up in the Bronx in a VA hospital. So that was many, 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 many years ago. But it's as current today as it was in 1961. This just came to me as I lost my dad in a VA hospital.
I'm so sorry for that, Councilwoman, and and with that, that's why we want to make sure that we have good relationships, and I can have a follow-up conversation with you on that, on how we are trying to also team up with the VA hospital. And there's a whole other conversation that we're having with them, but we would like to bring you in that conversation, and also further emphasize that what we can do collectively is make sure that the veterans know the alternative that they have if they're not supported at the
City
VA.
Hall has a hospitals committee. We, council, have a hospitals committee. I think you should start there. And
Yes.
let's find out in their line item for the new budget, $127 billion, that's a lot of money. Let's find out how much of that 127 billion that's being allotted to the hospitals committee is actually going to go towards the heroes of this country. I'm dead serious about that. Dead serious about that. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman. And to finalize is we are trying to build that strong relationship with the commissioner from DOHMH, because we would like to have these conversations with them on how can, alternatively, they can support veterans if the VA is not doing that. So that's another meeting that we're going to have with a second meeting that we're going to have with the commissioner from DOHMH.
Thank you, council member, for your family service as well. Commissioner, you've given us a lot to think about in your testimony, and I think one of the things that was most readily apparent is that we should be listening to the voices of veterans, which we'll do in a moment. Is there anything else you want to leave us with?
I just want to reassure you that as the new commissioner coming in within my 2 months, I am looking very deep into all the data. We are currently even submitting particular report on disability that had not been submitted for the last 3 years, just so you know. And within my 2 months, we're submitting it, and we're convening a roundtable with disability advocates so they could also look at this report and tell us what is wrong or what do we need to change, and also to hold me as an agency accountable. Like, well, how is it that they're going to be holding me accountable? I'm all about accountability. So I just want you to know that what we are doing within my agency, like within my 2 months, again, we are submitting. I'm even looking through what reports haven't been submitted. I just want to be transparent about that. So I am making sure that we are up to date. I am also making sure that with local law 37, that's fully implemented. And also because I want to make sure that the veteran groups here have the most accurate data so they can advocate for their nonprofit, and that they're fully supported when it comes to local law 37 when they're asking for contracts. And I always tell my team that we need to be respectful to all the veterans that are here, so we stay and listen to each one of them. So I just want them to know that we're also listening and being fully supportive of them.